And you're all putting in the work, and I'm really happy about that. Okay? Just keep showing up. Keep coming to meetings. That's how this thing works. Okay? Okay, and I see we have a new person at our meeting. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Actually, I have an activity we can all do together. We should go to Plastic City Comic-Con. There's just so much to do there. There's comic books, toys, games, anything you can ask for.
Wait, do you work for Plastic City Comic-Con?
Me? Work for Plastic City Comic-Con?
But we're all going to Plastic City Comic-Con, right? I thought so. Now, who here owes me money?
Plastic City Comic-Con! Saturday, August 19th. Game On Sports Complex, Pittsburgh, Massachusetts. PlasticCityComicCon.com for info and tickets.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to another episode of
That's not the live. We fucking live, son.
I was gonna do the normal intros, but this is kind of like a special occasion. Look who's on with us.
I know. Look at this.
Tina. What's going on?
What's up? Yo, what's going on, everyone? How's it going?
Yeah, great to have you here. And we'll talk about that in 2 seconds. Harry was with us, Johnny, George, You know our intros by now.
I didn't get to formally say hi to Harry earlier, so it's good to see you.
Hey, Johnny.
Yeah.
Same here.
Hey,
I
Harry, what's going
literally
on, man?
just got back from Salem. I was out vending all day today. So
Nice.
I'm already ready to turn this show off, man. But no, I'm tired.
We've got
But
some
yeah,
good guests tonight, so it'll be a painless show.
yeah, no, I figured it would be. Those guys seem pretty cool. I just was
Those
talking
guys
to
are
them for a
very
few
cool.
minutes before you guys showed up. But yeah, no, and speaking of vending, you guys are here because big happenings this week, huh?
Yep,
Why don't
me
you
and my,
guys
me and
talk
my
about
bro
it?
over here, George, we're going to be hitting NYC. It's going to be like Jason Takes Manhattan with a smaller body count.
yeah, man.
I love it. And Johnny, you were telling me that you think you got the old spot me and Amy used to have on the corner there in Small Press.
It is a corner spot. I don't know if we're where you were or maybe a row over. So the map is a little bit
Okay.
kind of,
Yeah.
and it's tough to recall exactly where you guys are, but we're kind of in the same vicinity that you were the last time I was there, which I think was the last time you were there.
Okay.
2021, right?
Yeah, the last show we went to was it the first? It was the first or second right out of the pandemic, and it was I like New York City,
You had
but
to wear
that
the
year
masks, right?
killed
Out in
me.
Artist Alley that year. I
Yeah.
think? Yeah,
Well, that
correct,
there
yeah.
was masked, and then they also made the aisle so freaking wide
Oof.
that everyone just avoided your booth, and it was horrible, So
Luckily, me and George got charisma.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you do. That'll be great. And that's what you need for that show. You need to
Oh, dude.
you guys will play off each other so well. I
We
think
will.
it's
Well, that's why I asked George. And one, he was
I
available, and
appreciate
two, I know that we would probably work very well together behind the
Yeah.
table.
Yeah,
man.
definitely.
I'm looking forward to it, man. You guys talking about I haven't been there since 2017. 2017 was the last time I did the show.
Did you vend there, George, or were you just? You did.
I was a vendor there since the very first show. Like when the
wow.
show first started at the Javits Center, the very first one. I remember I was there with Sam because I was still working with Sam. It was Crazy Comics, and that show was nuts because I don't think they didn't. The Javits Center didn't realize how many people were going to show up, so fire marshals ended up coming into the convention and saying, "Hey, you got to get some people out of here," because they hadn't opened the whole thing up yet. They
Yeah, I
just gave us,
remember
like, a
that because
floor.
I went to one of the early years. I want to say maybe 2008, and it was still only a small portion of the Javits.
Yeah,
but it was cool. It was big. It was pretty awesome still at that size, know. So
Yeah. No, it's a good show. I mean, listen, if you love, obviously it's a pop culture show as well. You know what I mean? It's just what a lot of these big conventions have become. But if you're into that stuff, man, that the show's for you. They've tried to break it up and they've tried to add things. Like they have a section, I don't know if it's still there. They had a section called The Block. And The Block was for like all the like I don't want like all the off the wall kind of stuff, you know, things that you wouldn't see on your normal, you know, artist alley stuff like that. You know, you'll have your you know, your tchotchkes, we call them.
The Block's still there. Last I checked, George,
Yeah,
but I think
it
it's reserved more for novelists.
Oh wow, okay. So
Yeah, I think that's how that evolved.
Okay.
Think.
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Okay.
So they've tried different things, you know. I'm excited, man. And Johnny, thank you so much, man, for asking me to do this, dude. I
Dude, my
really
pleasure,
appreciate
man.
it. Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
excited,
I
dude.
love that show. I just hate all the bullshit outside of it. like I hate the drive down, the setup, and the
dude.
breakdown are awful for that
I think,
show.
you know, just, you know, preliminary, like I always get a certain modicum of anxiety pre-convention. And for this upcoming show, a lot of it is more like travel logistic anxiety.
Yeah,
more
that's
so
where
than
all my
being
anxiety
at the show.
comes.
Yeah.
When I do a show like that, because it's like it's so big and it's like, how do I work this, you know?
Yeah.
I've done San Diego, and San Diego feels way more manageable than New York.
Yeah.
The nature of the Javits Center, I think it's just the
It
nature
is.
of the way New York's laid out.
Yeah,
You
it's
know what
where
I
it
mean?
is, dude. It's where it is. It's like 11th Ave. It's like this avenue, and there are cars coming. It's not like you can just kind of cross the street and feel safe. You're running around with all these big box, you know what I mean? And like just loading and unloading, like where it is and how it's just a big old. And then the other side of that is the highway. So it's like it's the West Side
the
Highway
Lincoln Tunnel, right?
Yeah, it's like it leads.
Well,
it leads
and
into
the
Lincoln
funny
Tunnel.
thing too about load in and load out, every friggin' year we go, it's different. One year they had us going through the front, one year that side. It's just it's nuts.
I think if you can wheel all your stuff in one whack,
that's what
then you can really just walk in the front door, I'm sure, right?
That's what
once you're there and you have your badge and your table set up, it's gold after that. But
you know, it's also like for me, it's easier too because I'm in New York. So like I'm not traveling from anywhere. You know what I mean? Like
right.
Johnny, you're traveling, you're coming in with all your stuff. I'm gonna drive my car, park it on the parking lot across the street, which is probably gonna be like $100 for the day. And then but at that point, I'm like, you know what? Peace of mind. Leave the car there, cross the street with my cart, and go to the table, and that's it. You know,
yeah, there you go. That's the way to do it.
I tried to get everything into one suitcase. I was like, oh, I'm gonna just move into a bigger suitcase, and I think I'll be okay. I weighed it. It was 80 pounds for one suitcase. So I was like, okay, all right. I'm going to do a little bit of, so after the show tonight, I'm going to play a little Tetris and see if I can get things, split up across two suitcases.
Well, you know what? That's just incentive to sell it all, Johnny.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to have a whole lot of hardcover Cthulhu's with me. So
yeah, exactly.
I hope New York's ready for some Lovecraft.
Let's go.
Yeah, I know. Oh, hey, look, Tony James is going to be there too.
Star Noir.
Hey,
he's on. I think he's coming on the show in another week or two.
He's got an active campaign right now, I believe.
Yeah. So
book two. Book one is really good. So shout out to Tony, man.
I still got to read book one. It's in my stack over here. I hope I can read it before this weekend.
I'm gonna try to. I got mine too. I'm gonna try to read it before.
It's a good read. It's a good read, guys. It really is.
I want to talk to him about it, but time's kind of in a crunch, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, actually, I'm gonna check the schedule while we're talking. Yeah, I think he's next week. He's next week.
Oh, it's next week?
So. Yeah, so next week, Johnny, remember
I'll try to get it read. Tony, I'll try to get it read, man.
He's gonna try next week, Monday, we have Tony and Ben, and then Wednesday we have another show. So next week's the nightmare one.
Well, we got Hades next Wednesday, right?
No, next Wednesday is Pops.
Oh, Pops. That's right.
I haven't scheduled Hades yet. I know Hades wants to come on, but we got to figure that one out.
Yeah, it's a time difference, so we got to figure it out. But big shout out to Hades. Big shout out to Gig Global Indie Group. Real great platform if you're looking to recruit a writer, artist, editor, podcaster, you name it. You can go on. It's like Angie's List for the creative.
Yeah.
Everybody's very reputable. Everybody, is great on that site. So highly recommend Global Indie Group. Check it out.
Yeah, actually,
and Amy had a good point here too, guys. Just remember, no four-wheeled carts. That's if you go through the front door.
Interesting.
It can only be on 2 wheels because of the whole
Oh, wow. Okay.
Foreman, the Freeman.
Yeah, then they
shit
make you use
that's
the
there.
Freeman.
Those
Yeah.
people are no joke. Once the show is over, those carpets are getting ripped off right away. Like,
Oh,
they
yeah,
don't- they don't
absolutely,
joke
yeah.
Even if they
around,
lay
man.
carpet down.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. True.
Yeah.
Hey,
Dude, lately
you guys-
they've been not, hard floor.
you guys were mentioning Hades coming on.
Yes.
I want to get on the show. I actually, so I was talking to you guys, and I guess I was offering it to the guys that were backstage. So I started my own podcast, and I have a show about writers. And Keith, I want to have you guys on. Harry, I don't know if you're a writer, but you're more than welcome. Johnny, I definitely want to have you guys on. And we talk about
Harry
writing.
can't write.
Yeah, I can't. No, I've tried, but
And so I'd love to have you on. The first episode just aired today, and Hades is on it. So
Oh,
if you guys
cool.
if you guys go to my the YouTube channel is called Get Your Meds, nice and easy. Check it out, subscribe, and then watch the show. And then I'd love to have you guys on for sure. Dude.
That'd be
Yeah,
fantastic.
absolutely,
Yeah,
man. Just
yeah.
reach out and we'll schedule
Yeah.
something. You know?
All right, cool, awesome.
That'd be great. Yeah, I'd love to
Perfect.
come on and mix it up with you.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
So, gents, before we bring in the guests, anything else you wanted to say about this weekend? Do you have your booth number? Or
Yes, booth 2040. We will be there at
2040 in the small
2040.
press area.
Yeah,
right.
main
Just
floor.
think Phantom 2040.
Yeah.
One of my
that's good.
favorite
40.
animated series.
That's good.
Peter
That's
Chung from Aeon Flux went off and
We're-
did Phantom 2040 after.
Nice. Yeah, we're going to be right next to the VIZ booth. We're in that area.
Oh,
if you
okay,
guys
near
see
Viz
the
Media.
booth, we're like right next.
And we're
to
diagonal from Marvel.
Marvel,
So, like,
yeah.
if you see the big Marvel booth and you look to
Yeah.
your left and you go down one and then another left, I think we're right there.
Yeah.
We're on a corner.
Cool.
We're on a corner, so you can't miss us.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
pretty loud too, so you won't be able to miss me.
Yes.
In the
And
small
George,
press
tell them
area.
what you're going to be bringing, because I think it's really cool what you're going to be doing there.
So I'm setting these things up. So I have these little cards. These little cards that I'm going to be giving away. And basically, if you turn the car around, come back to the booth, get your meds, and win free prizes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a spinning wheel. You're going to be able to spin the wheel, and you can win whatever. I have stickers, I'll have prints, I'll have Russ, I'll have Wonder Duck. So I'm going to be giving away some stuff. So in the first 15 guests that get there and pick up a copy of Wonder Duck, I'm going to give you guys a free print that Hector Rodriguez did. Hector Rodriguez is actually also going to be at the show. So if you want to get that print signed, you can go to his booth and get that bad boy signed.
Great
I spoke to
promo
him.
there.
Yeah, I spoke to him. He's excited. They're at booth 2136. So they're right around the way. So it'll be a nice way for you guys to kind of like meet different creators, go to different tables. Hector's got he works with Guildworks Publications. I think you've had him, John. I can't remember his last name now. He's gonna kill me. But Keith Murphy's also with them. So and they have a book right now actually on Kickstarter called
Oh, okay.
Monsters. Yeah, it's called Monsters and something else. But they're doing really well. So they're gonna be there, and it's gonna be a good time. So definitely,
Looking forward to meeting them.
Awesome.
Yeah, it'll be
Yeah,
fun.
guys, take lots of pictures and vids and
Oh
stuff.
yeah,
I'd
yeah,
love to.
for sure.
It sounds like Keith's
I-
got a little bit of FOMO.
I got a
Just
little bit of
touch.
FOMO, but I'll be
Just a
Oh.
touch of FOMO.
I'll be at the Athol Comic Book Fest on Saturday. So
Which
cool.
I get a
I
little
actually have
taste.
FOMO for. I wish I was at
Yeah.
that show because it was great last year.
It was, and I got well. I'll get a little taste of convention.
Yeah, dude,
through
and,
you
and-
guys,
and-
you
and
know?
you had your promo for Plastic City, dude. Keith, I'm gonna have to sign up for that next year, bro, because that was a good
Yeah,
time
we got to
this year.
figure. I gotta change our intro because that commercial's so old.
Well,
now.
but you know what's good about
Great
that
commercial.
now, and I was thinking about it though. All you have to really do is change the date at the very end. 'Cause
Change
you
the
keep
end,
the
yeah.
entire beginning until the part where he says, "So who owes me money?" And
Yeah.
that's hysterical.
I could
And
probably
then
cut that off and
cut
and
that
just-
off, right?
and just do like a website or something until we have
Yes.
a date or
And
something.
that's it.
Yeah.
And that's it, bro. So it works really well. But yeah, no, man, I'm excited. I can't wait, Johnny. It's gonna be a blast.
Looking forward to it, my man.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
All right, so go see these fellas in New York City. If you're
Yeah.
getting FOMO for conventions, they'll be putting up videos and pics and everything.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it'll be awesome.
Sure.
And most
And-
importantly, buy some books from these
Buy
gents.
books. Buy some
Yep.
books. buy some
Follow George at Get Your Meds with a
books.
Z.
Yes. Yeah.
And
really.
you can find me at Johnny C138. So if you want to see photos from the convention as we go, that's the best place to do it.
Yeah, we're probably gonna be doing IG lives and all that other fun stuff there. So
Hells
we're
yeah.
gonna have a blast. We're gonna
We'll
have
have
a
fun.
good time.
We'll have fun.
Yeah, we'll have a good time. We'll have a
Awesome.
good time. But guys, thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
anytime,
run out
man.
and finish, just getting myself organized. But thank you, Johnny. Thank you, Keith.
Of course.
Harry,
Yeah.
pleasure meeting you.
Yep.
And
fun at
yeah,
New York.
I'll see you guys soon. I'll see
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Gavin.
All right,
Yep, see
George.
you
Have a
soon,
good
George.
one.
Take care, man.
Later, man.
See you later.
Awesome. So I'm gonna just launch right into our guest tonight.
Yeah, let's bring him right in. Yeah,
Yeah.
Will,
So
I keep him
Johnny,
waiting.
before I bring him in, set it up a little bit about these guys. How did you meet
Okay.
them?
Yep,
Give me a
so-
quick rundown.
Yep. So I've met both of these guys in my travels at conventions. We're all kind of mutual friends through mutual friends. And Jimmy is an awesome artist. He's just such amazing work. I couldn't say more about it. Eddie, I met Eddie, I believe, for the first time we were all part of a Twitter group, but I met Eddie in person for the first time at C2E2, or whether it was last year or the year before. And a very awesome guy, very personable. And I saw that they were launching the campaign and they're working together on this book that looks really awesome. Can't wait to dive into it. So, I was like, hey, let's bring him on. Let's feature him. I always love having friends on the show. So that kind of gives you a little bit of perspective.
Yeah, definitely. And I know you were excited about it. So like when you get that excitement, it gets me going too.
Great personalities, great people, awesome
Yeah.
friends. They're really just, you guys will see.
All right, awesome. Without further ado, let's bring in first Eddie Klinker. What's up, Eddie? How's it going?
Hey.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. Thank you, Johnny, for the nice words.
Oh, no problem, man.
absolutely, man. And
It's
then
always great
also,
seeing you.
Yeah.
we got Jimmy. How do you say the last name, Jimmy?
It's Kucaj.
Kucaj. Okay.
Not
Perfect.
anything like you'd expect it to be when you read it.
No.
And that's a litmus test of how well you know Jimmy.
Just spell it right. That's all I ask.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But yeah, gents, welcome to the show. We often, like, when we have new guests, like, we always love to learn the origin of the creators, like how you guys got into comics, that kind of thing. Is there something you can point to in the past that kind of put you on the path to wanting to be in comic books, like a movie, comic, TV show, things like that?
Yeah.
Jimmy, you got one? Go ahead.
Hey, Batman the Animated Series, for sure.
That's
Like,
a
that
good
was
one. That's
before the
often
comics
a
for me and everything else, So definitely that.
That
That
seems to
one
be a
is
touchstone
often,
for a lot of creators, right?
yeah, we get that one a
X-Men.
lot.
Yeah.
I mean, with Bruce Timm's like character designs though, and then like how they develop the backgrounds and everything else though, it's kind of hard not to take
Oh, it's
inspiration from
timeless.
it. It's
Yeah, you
perfect.
could watch
It's a perfect
it right now, and it doesn't look like it's from the 90s, or even the stories are dated at all.
Yeah.
So that's really good. How about you, Eddie?
Man, I don't want to say the same thing because that's boring. I mean, that was such an influential
Oh,
television
absolutely.
show for myself. I think for me, I remember a classmate of mine, I played soccer in high school, and I had a buddy of mine who had a car, so he would drive us to practice, and he brought me to a comic shop for the first time. And I had a comic when I was younger. My dad had comics that I would read through, but he brought me to a comic shop, and I got to like sit and like see how these things go. And I've never been to one before, and that just kind of bit the bug in me. So I remember like I first picked up like some old Daredevils that I loved, fell in love with Daredevil. So I think like in terms of the first comics that I got, like that first entrance into the comic store and seeing all of it, that smell, I can still remember the smell of the first comic store.
yeah.
Like, yeah, that was definitely
Paper,
that was
stacks upon stacks of aged
Yeah.
paper.
yeah,
Oh,
and just
very
the
distinct, beautiful
the
smell.
touch of moving those things. Yeah, beautiful.
And they were still printing on newsprint back then too,
Yep.
right? So it was
Yeah.
like that nice smell, like that. Yeah, there's something about that smell.
Yeah. I love that.
Before we go any further, do you guys hear that ticking? Is that
Yeah. I thought it was my headphones or something. I'm like,
We
It's
think
The only way we
me.
can do this if each one of
We
us
know
can
it's
mute.
Jimmy. We know it's Jimmy.
It's probably me. Give me
Oh, is it
one
really?
second. Yeah, it's been a thing. 1 second.
Jimmy,
It's
just
been a
mute just as a test.
Okay, here. I'll mute first, and then I'll try switching off.
yeah.
It's
Uh,
totally
Yeah,
Jimmy.
totally me. It's totally me. I know. It's
I can live with it as long as you guys can live with it.
We did another interview, and it just kind of like came in and out. But
What is it, Jimmy? Is it the connection, you think, or
Oh, how's that? Is that better?
it's back.
oh no, it just stopped there.
no, just stop.
There we go. It's good now.
All good?
Nope,
Oh.
it's back now.
That's back.
All right. 1 second. Something we wanted, right?
It's faint, so I can't hear it too well, but it is there.
Anything now?
Yeah, I hear it a little bit still, but it's not as bad as
it's
it
like a
was.
tiny woodpecker like pecking at something.
Yeah, that's what it
It's
sounds
Actually,
like.
a subconscious method to get you to remember these guys, so
Yeah.
that way you back the campaign.
Absolutely. That's what I mean.
It's like
That's what we're here for.
the nagging like thing. Get back
Yeah.
the campaign, back the campaign.
I think it's okay. I don't know. If you guys want to roll with
I
it.
don't
It's
hear
gone now.
anything now.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. It's back.
Amy says it sounds like you're playing Perfection.
Oh,
Remember that
with
game?
That's really
Perfection?
funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
So sorry, everybody.
No
it's my
worries,
wonky
Jimmy.
setup.
It's totally fine.
No,
Let's
it
roll.
comes in and out now. It's not as bad as it was. But anyways,
Let's keep it rolling.
I digress. Yeah. So, how did you gents make the jump from being a fan to making a comic book? Is this like the book that you have on Kickstarter? Is that the first comic you guys have ever done, or?
No, not for me. This is I ran a Kickstarter early in the year that was really fun. That was called Space Pilots, and then this is my third Kickstarter that I've done. But I've been lucky to do a lot of like short story comics with people that would just put up online.
anthologies?
Yeah, I've done an anthology with Odyssey Comics, which I was really happy about. Actually, Jimmy and I did a short story together for an anthology. We didn't get into the anthology, but we just made the story anyway because we thought it was cool. So yeah, I've been lucky to make probably like 8 or 9 little short comics, but I would say this is like my third major kind of full length comic.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
Did you guys meet on that anthology? Is that how you kind of get together as a creative team, or?
No, I think it was 2020 C2E2. I think we were both tabling.
Yeah, okay.
And I think, if I remember correctly, we were directly behind each other.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
yeah, there was this like bounce back and forth between the two of us.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
I think I do remember you were behind us, Eddie, right?
Yeah, I was behind you. I was sitting with Damon
right.
Hampton.
That's
It was
right.
awesome.
That's
Yep.
right.
Yeah, we were right behind you guys.
Oh, cool. Are you
nobody
guys
could-
from Chicago?
I am. I'm not from Chicago. I'm from Wisconsin, but I live
Gotcha.
in Chicago. I've lived here for 12 years now. So
Oh, okay.
Basically.
yeah,
Awesome.
basically, I guess.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, that's always important too. Like I find when you do vend at a show, you do get to know those neighbors around you, and then years later, those like just because you tabled next to them, that you're still friends with those guys after all these years. You know, you see them at shows. It's like adding more con people to your roster. You know.
Yeah, it's like one of the best parts about going to a con, tabling at a con.
I
is
agree.
just the camaraderie, the social aspect of it, the meeting friends, being with people. Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
think
definitely.
Chicago's got a pretty solid like comic creator community, I'd say. Like there's a lot of people in Chicago that come together and network and cross promote, and it's got a just really good backbone for indie comics in Chi-Town there.
Yeah, it's got some of the best stores. I mean, it's some of the best working people. I mean, you got Dan Warren Johnson's here, Maria Wolf is here, Tim Seeley. Like, you just bump into those people all the time when you go to stores and stuff, and it does feel very much like a community and stuff. It's great, and Jimmy's not too far away, so I mean, Jimmy pops up when he can. So yeah, there is a really great small little community that is blowing up. I think with a lot of great, unbelievable creators here.
Yeah, I feel like that's happening in most conventions. Is like always these pocket communities, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so it's great, you know.
Yeah.
Jimmy, how long have you been doing art for?
So art kind of forever, you know what I mean? It's one of those situations where I don't really remember not doodling or drawing or having that, right? But as far as like comics and stuff goes, I'd say when I was about 27 years old was when I started taking it more seriously and really like honing it in and trying to study and do all the stuff, right? You know.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then I had How I Became a Shoplifter get published in January with Sumerian with Tom Brayfogle, so that happened. And then just kind of been bouncing around, drawing my ass off, you know. So
And I can attest to just Jimmy's hustle and his hard work from, I think when we met like an early C2E2, like it was 2019 maybe or something like that, around that time frame, to now. It's just like your portfolio just became like better and better, and you just kept working at it, man. It was awesome, and it shows. It really shows.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I did look at
Oh,
Go
okay.
ahead, Harry. I'm sorry.
No, is it traditional art or digital? Or...
Yeah, it's traditional.
Yep. Okay.
Awesome.
what's
Yeah,
the
I
name
did
of
look
it?
at the artwork.
It's funny because
on
I
the
remember Jimmy,
Kickstarter.
you telling me like when you tried to go digital, it just wasn't clicking for you, right?
Well, so I did digital for the first year that I was getting like work, you know what I mean? Like it was a bit easier to wrap my head around. Plus, I feel like digital is kind of like the hyperbolic time chamber in Dragon Ball Z, where you can go in, make your mistakes, you have Control Z, so there isn't like this whole thing like with traditional where I have to get white out and then I have to have like a white gel pen, you know what I mean? Or like my personal favorite is like the straight up paste ups where I'll cut a new face out and literally glue it to the board, you know what I mean? So like, but when you're first starting out and learning, that's really daunting, you know what I mean? So like having that Control Z or like the free transform tool in Photoshop or Clip Studio that you kind of like, oh, I'm gonna cut this thing out and move it here now, so I don't have to erase the thing and redraw it and all that. That's really what digital helps out a bunch with, like for me personally. And then, yeah, no, I actually was in conversations with Daniel Warren Johnson, and it was a lot of him talking to me about traditional stuff that really like kind of sparked it, you know what I mean? So, and that was at
Nice.
just a con and stuff. So, yeah.
Did you work with him at all, or
No,
or
no.
no? Okay, because I was just gonna say I was unaware of him as a creator until just recently. Well, I've heard his name, but I picked up the new Transformers and I thought it was great. You know,
Yeah.
And speaking of Transformers, Russ Wooten, our letterer, did great letters on that comic. So,
Yep.
oh, did he really?
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Russ is our letterer on Devil Paid Men, so very
Oh,
excited.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he killed it.
Yeah, like, a good letterer will really make a project shine. You know, I find
100%.
Yeah.
You can really, I don't know. I think it's what a good letterer can really make a book
Yeah.
look
Yeah, absolutely.
as professional as possible. Like something about having like, even if like the letters are just slightly too large, right? There's something about it where you go like, oh, this kind of feels like a church comic. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Or something like that, where like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
bubbles are really big for some reason, and you're just kind of like, but why? You know?
Yeah, right. There's like such more space and the words are more compressed in the middle. There's something about the way like a letterer can look at a project and kind of find the right tone for the letters and
Oh yeah.
the placement and all that stuff is like huge, But what I wanted to say, Jimmy, though, is I did look at the Kickstarter, when we booked you guys for the show, and yeah, I got to say the artwork is awesome, man. I like too that your style is kind of unique. I could see some influences in it. Like it reminded me of like good like video game artwork, like something you would see on like a Final Fantasy or like something like that. Is that sort of like where your influences come from?
I mean, I have influences from all over the place, right? Like I'm sure every artist does. I'm sure
right.
You know what I mean? But like, yeah, no, the old Super Nintendo like concept art that they based the like little pixel characters off of and everything, like the sprites. Like the Final Fantasy stuff is so killer, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely, man.
No. So I'm a big sucker for all that stuff for sure.
I could see a little maybe Humberto Ramos in it, or like is that the Battle Chaser guy?
No, that's Battle Chasers is Joe Matt.
Joe Matt,
Maduro.
yeah, I see a little bit of Joe Matt in there too.
Well,
and I don't know.
I'll take that all day. That's a really big compliment. So.
Yeah, man, it's good stuff.
The
Go ahead,
concept looks pretty interesting too. So I look at it and I see the armor and I see like, some of the imagery you did here. And it reminds me like of so many things that come to mind. But like one of the most overtly things is, I don't know if you're familiar with an anime called Saint Seiya. It was also called it was also called Knights of the Zodiac in some areas.
I know Knights. Yep.
So yeah, like I got Knights vibes hard from the campaign. I was like, oh, this is going to be awesome. I knew it, but I'm curious of what the story is. So I don't know if you guys can fill me in and kind of give me a little bit of like elevator pitch on it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, the story is about a group of knights who are a specialized group of knights who are tasked to go first into battle. And for their greater risk, they're paid double than the rest of the knights around them. So they're called the double paid men. Our story kind of explores what happens when, after a failed battle happens, they're kind of woken up into a strange place that they then have to partner with. No surprise, that's in the title. They have to partner with the devil for a second chance to get home. So it really is a story. It's a very personal story to myself. It explores my own fears and phobias that I have with death and how I struggle with death around me. So I've put a lot of my own kind of feelings and self-discovery into these characters. And it's been a lot of fun. It's been very cathartic. It's been very, like I said, very personal to myself. But the story takes it to places that it's a fantasy epic adventure that Jimmy's art just escalates it to the next level, but we really explore some of the craziest things I think I've been able to do as a writer so far, which I'm very excited for.
Very cool, man.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And I've heard like some of the best comic writers do that exact same thing, where they I'm thinking like Scott Snyder or even Tinian. They often talk about, like, I don't know if you follow any of their newsletters, but they often talk about when they come up with a concept, that a lot of the concept is their fears and the way they process it through the comics that they make and things like that. So
yeah, absolutely.
I admire that, like, I think that's really cool that you could do something like that. And also, on top of that, make the story entertaining and engaging,
And look fucking badass and cool with all the armor and shit.
Yeah,
right? All that awesome stuff, dude.
That's Jimmy.
Badass. I can't wait to read it.
Yeah, that's Jimmy. And that's been a really cool collaborative part about it, is that the characters that I had in mind when I started the story did not look like that. And then when Jimmy kind of brought them to life like that, it has influenced where they go, what they do, who they are, who they become, how they drink a beer, how they walk down the street. It's just like there's so much backstory just in the when you look at them.
Does that make you rate differently when you see them for the first time? Like,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think there's it didn't really change each kind of character's traits, but it definitely changed the way that I see how they would react to a certain thing, or how people would react to them too. Because a lot of characters, we can gauge a lot about someone by how they interact in an environment, how they interact with a stranger, how a stranger interacts with them, how they feel about each other. So like, seeing the scale of how these characters are, especially like, I think Johnny's talking about Einar, who's just this like giant like knight.
Looks like Bazzuzo from
Berserk.
Yeah.
And he's but he's got so much more to him. And it kind of escalates or heightens this fact that he's so big and he's so powerful, but he has so much more deep inside of him that he's like struggling with, which is just like, I think, a great contrast to see that size of a person.
Yeah, no, that is good. I like that a lot. I think that's cool. And Eddie, is the story, and are you a fantasy guy? Are you inspired by, like, is the story inspired by anything that you watch or love? Or
I think it's hard not to not be inspired. It's a group of 4 people it's a main characters of 4 people, so it's hard not to be inspired by. Oh my god, what am I doing? It's hard not to be inspired by the Ninja Turtles.
See it. What was it?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, dude, check it out. Yeah.
How dope is that? That is
cool. That is cool.
Yeah, that's like my childhood. I mean, I should have brought that up when we talked about Batman the animated series, and I had all the Turtles toys. I had all the so it's hard not to be inspired by that. But I do love those kind of stories where it's like a team, because I just love the character interactions, and like I said, of being able to find out so much about a character by how they interact with their closest friends. And it's like the Guardians of the Galaxy. Why I love those so much is because you get to see them be together. It's not just like Batman by himself brooding in the corner.
Right,
camaraderie there.
Yeah.
And the Turtles is such a good template to use, because I love that the 4 of them have those unique personalities, and that you can imbue into your characters and things like that. Find a new way to do, like, angry Raphael, with your characters, or you know what I mean, like it. So that's great. That's great stuff. Johnny, did you have any other questions about their story or anything like that? Or
Yeah, so I mean, and I
Okay.
forgive me if it was already stated in the actual campaign page, but is this a one-shot graphic novel, or is this an ongoing, or like is it a limited series?
This will be a mini series. Right now, we're probably
Okay.
pacing to like 6 to 8 issues. Each issue will be 40 pages. They'll be also be oversized, like a magazine or like DC Black Label, like the size that they do
Okay.
their books.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So just because it is this like epic fantasy, we wanted the size of it to also feel epic, like like you're watching like a good chunk of a television show. But also when you look at Jimmy's art and you see how like visceral and in your face and like heavy metal it is, it felt like we were doing it injustice if we had it just on like a regular comic size page. Like we want to blow it up, we want to put it in your face. So yeah, the plan is to have it as a mini series. Very excited to where this goes and who these people become and kind of
Awesome.
where we're bringing
How
them.
many issues are you planning?
I'd probably say 8. The writer in me
8,
wants to
okay.
do 8. The editor in me probably is like do less, but but
Well,
yeah,
it'll be
we'll see.
easier. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
exactly.
Well, it's almost like aim for 6 and then be ready for 8.
Yeah,
That's the way
yeah,
I would-
exactly.
that's how I would plan
That's
that.
like,
you
well,
know?
Well,
it's like-
that and
yeah.
sometimes those characters take over and they tell you how to, how long their story's going to be. So
Yeah, and that's just so much fun. Like I swear, anytime I'm not expecting it, it's like I'll just be doing something. I'll clean the house, and I'll be like, "Oh yeah, that's what Niles would do. Like that's how he would react to this thing I have in my head." Then I'd go write it down. It's just like,
yeah, right.
Yeah,
I
you go
love
find-
those moments, man.
Yeah.
Those Zen moments. There's something about like just like washing dishes and having epiphanies. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like you're in that zone, and then all of a sudden your brain's clear enough to like allow ideas to flow. It's crazy.
Yeah, for me, it's like reading poetry, and maybe it's just like it gives me a sense of being or feeling where I'm like, oh, this feels like this poem is describing this character I'm trying to write. So I'll just like read that poem over and over and over again until I kind of figure out this is about Ludwig, and I want this poem to keep kind of in my head, so it kind of keeps inspiring me.
I feel that because I've ridden that wave before, where it's like I have an album on loop that's informing a character or informing a story point or something. It's just like it becomes like the backbone of what the work you're doing. It's crazy.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's funny when you guys were talking about like when you're washing dishes and you get an idea. Like I actually took some I had some hypnotizing lessons and or took some
Wait, you were hypnotized or
I was
know how to
hypnotized. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Oh, okay.
The hypnotist, I couldn't get it out of my head for some reason. But the hypnotist was telling me that about that, like it's whenever you do stuff like that where you're just driving and your mind's on like autopilot, or if you're washing dishes, you're like in a trance sort of, because like you tap more into your subconscious. That's why you get a lot of ideas when you're in the shower and things like that. So
yeah,
that's where Einstein had his best thoughts in the shower.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and that's what it is.
So if we say the secret word, you could be hypnotized like that right now.
Yeah, do you know what it was?
Yeah, do you know the secret word?
You were now in Sing Sing.
Yeah. No, but I just thought that was interesting. And she was saying also like that's how like when you watch a good movie and it feels like it goes by in 2 seconds, is because you're kind of in a trance when you're watching it.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. I just thought I threw it out there and just let you guys know about that. So,
Yeah,
That's dope. Awesome.
your trivia for the
That's
day.
dope. Now, when you guys were actively working on this, I always like to say a good creative team kind of like informs each other and kind of fills in gaps where like Eddie as a writer, might not see things that Jimmy can be aware of and go, oh, well, this would work better. Can you guys point to any instances where you guys were just collaborating and things were just like, you guys were just elevating each other essentially?
So I think the whole process is kind of that, in the way that like, I mean, Eddie will be able to talk more on this, but he really simplified the script for me. I'm definitely a less is more sort of artist. I can get really bogged down with details where it actually kind of makes it really hard for me to start creating and thinking about like, oh, what should the room look like? What items should be in there? What, the little things that you don't think about, right?
Yeah.
And Eddie knew that right from the get. So the scripts have definitely been tailored to my artistic style or how I interpret it anyway. So yeah, it's kind of like I believe the first page of the comic and the campaign, I think I have it with like 8 panels, I believe, and I think it was supposed to be 4.
Yeah.
When Eddie wrote it, but like I wanted it to be impactful. I knew that like we had some conversations coming up, so like how do I really bring the heat with this first page to let the audience know what's about to happen? You know, because like you got to have the moments where we're talking, but like these little it's almost like the crash symbol. I don't know if anyone's a drummer.
Yeah, right.
But like it's kind of like the crash symbol every other page, where it's just kind of like, oh, okay, it's happening, you know.
Yeah. Well, then also, don't you control like the pacing with that too? The more panels you add, right? Isn't that like sort of slows the story down or
100%.
speeds it up? Yeah. It's good stuff.
It's funny. So it's like, so you actually like you like more detail, Jimmy, right?
I like less detail in the scripts. That way I can blow it out on the page.
Yeah. Because I've always said that, where it's like if you put so much detail on the page, you're like dictating to the artist.
Yeah.
Whereas not giving them the creative room to like put their input on it and put their spin on it and like put a little bit of their heart into it as well, as opposed to just taking a job, doing exactly what's written on the page, and then, you know what I mean, leaving very little room for them to, you know, feel creative in that sense.
And all artists are different in saying that as well. Some artists really want a full script. Some artists, I have friends that ask for references and pictures and stuff like that in their scripts and stuff too. So it really is one of those to each his own sort of deals. But yeah, for me, I just need, you know, character A is walking in the room. That's all you need. that's the panel, you know, and then kind of let me go.
I feel like you would probably go into cardiac arrest if you had to draw an Alan Moore script.
Yeah, I think so. I would still say yes. But also at the same time, it's like, why are you talking? The camera's fine, you know.
But I would think that like a lot of the imagery in Alan Moore books are pretty basic. It's just the fucking dialogue, man. That guy will fill up a page. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It almost becomes tedious. I mean, it's all great work, but still.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's why I mention it, because he's legendary for his bloated scripts, let's just say.
But they make for great reads, man. V from Vendetta is like one of my all-time favorite reads. You know,
I mean, you can't deny that he wrote a bunch of classics. You know? But I guess, you know, why don't we take a look at the campaign and check that out?
Yeah, let's pull it up, take a look. Is there a video on the campaign page?
There's not. Nope. I know that's
highly... I love that. I love that you guys are like, fuck the video.
I was like, have a video. I was like, I'm not. That's too
fuck the
video. Look at that. Look at that image right there.
Yeah,
that is
cool.
So dope.
And that was Jimmy's just like, I made this for it. I was like, that's fucking cool.
And also, I mean, to be completely real, Linda Scott Campbell is the colorist, and she makes my illustrations readable. She makes it so you know what's happening. Like without her and our collaboration, I wouldn't be able to draw the book in the way that I am. So
I think you complement each other. Yeah, definitely.
They do. They have such a cool working relationship. I get to get like a sneak peek of just like seeing them, like Jimmy's notes on a page, Linda's notes back, and like it just feels like just people playing volleyball together or tennis, just like in perfect rhythm.
Right?
Yeah, it's really cool.
Man, look at this cover.
Dope. Look at that.
Look at that thing.
It's great.
It's wild.
But yeah, even the pages. But yeah, I mean, look at in the lettering, like the way he worked this into the actual action here. Like, I mean, that's impressive. Or was that you, Jimmy?
That's me. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
A lot of the I do the sound effects. Yeah. I like to have the sound effects just be incorporated with the artwork. Plus, I don't know. I just like doing it. This is really
as a letterer, I love that.
When it's incorporated into the panel like that, though, it feels so natural. It feels like, you know, it actually, when it's like lettering feels like it's pasted on. in
Yeah.
any situation, right? So like no matter, it could be great lettering, it doesn't matter. It almost feels like an overlay, right?
I
When
got
it's
you.
built into the panel like that, dude, it's so awesome. Even that background right there, that is so dope.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, like Jimmy said, that page was like 4 panels, or like I put on 4 panels. I was like, yeah, we open up on the old tavern,
Okay.
and you know, it didn't do much detail. It's just like Niles is fighting, getting into a bar fight, and this is what Jimmy did. And it's like, that's insane, and that's what I wanted, right? Like you said, that collaboration. It's like I came to Jimmy for Jimmy's art. I didn't come to Jimmy to make Jimmy do something that I didn't want him to do.
Well, and the Jimmy, I could compliment you on this as well. I mean, not only does it look beautiful, but like your storytelling is on point as well. Like, you know, you take away the dialogue here and you know exactly everything that's happening, you know, so that's
very little
huge, I
dialogue
think.
for the page. If you look at it, it speaks
Yeah.
for itself, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Like if you left this with no dialogue, we would still know what was happening, you know?
No, I
So,
appreciate that. That's a huge compliment. So
yeah,
thank you.
absolutely, man. I mean, yeah, I love the artwork.
That's
story
the other
looks
thing I
cool,
like
too.
about Jimmy's art is the expressiveness of the characters' faces. Jimmy, you've got that down so pat, man, where it
Oh,
looks
yeah.
great. Like such awesome character. Even on Paul's book, like the expressions you had there was just so good. God, New Amsterdam.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep. The New
such a-
Amsterdam game.
yeah. Oh, dude, so good.
I
So much
appreciate it.
life to it too. Like even like this one, like where the
Oh,
you know
yeah.
the bear is splashing around, and you can feel the energy in that. You know,
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
It's
And I
just
love
great
what Linda
stuff.
did on the colors of that top one.
Oh yeah.
Right here,
Kind of
yeah,
Yeah, it's
sunburst
just
kind
like
of effect.
it's
Yeah.
because it's that character is just like a kind of an eager new recruit to the army, I guess, or the military, and that coloring just kind of feels like that. It's a ray of sunshine. This kid is.
yeah,
and,
right. Like
that's not welcomed here, dude. We're a grungy, dirty, messy, heavy metal like type of deal.
I love that. But it's
Yeah,
still, he's like
good.
trying to force that sunshine
Yeah.
in that grit. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
And then we
It's
just
like,
absolutely
you know, it's
scampered
like,
in the
hey,
next
this is a Frank Miller type book, you know?
Yeah.
Get that sunshine out of there.
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, I
Love
like
that
it.
right there too. That exchange between those two characters, so
Right
awesome,
here.
right in each other's faces.
Oh,
The
Actually,
style
kind of
of the
looks like
hair.
Alan Moore. Actually,
Yeah, a little bit.
a little bit. But yeah, dude, artwork is some of
Yeah,
the
it looks
best I've seen.
pretty
It's
cool.
really
Yeah.
good.
So, is there like a tier
Thank you.
on the campaign that you would recommend for people? Like, you know,
Yeah. I would recommend the Remark cover tier. I think
Okay.
we're limiting that to 25, maybe.
I think it's 25. but I'm not
25.
sure.
So, yeah, there's like a little picture on there. Jimmy will take the books and he'll kind of use a marker and we'll in the surveys we'll get like which of the 4 characters you want, and you'll get like a quick little custom Jimmy sketch on the cover.
Oh, right here.
That's
No,
the
is this
commission. So sorry, scroll up a
commission?
little bit more. Right past retailers. Right there.
Remark.
There
Okay.
you
So
go.
that's that picture is a quick,
$2, you'll do a little sketch on the cover. Wow.
yeah, and gives you a 40-page physical book. So
Wow,
yeah,
that's
just like
not
extra
hell of a
$6
deal.
from what the regular is. You'll get a little sketch from Jimmy, which is
that goes for 22.
Yep.
That's a great bargain right there.
That is
You
a
think
great
about that. You're
bargain.
getting a personalized sketch.
Yeah. Yeah. One of
Plus,
the,
I'm definitely going to be experimenting with the remarks too, so it should be fun.
That's cool.
Like I want to do
Fantastic,
full
dude.
color sort of remarks where I'm kind of using the Pasco paint markers and layering them, and yeah, see if there's some cool things that I could do with the cover. You know.
Yeah, that's great. Because I see a lot of people now, like it seems like the new trend in crowdfunding is that the book itself will just be $25 as the starting tier for people. But like you guys are cheaper, and not only are you cheaper, you get a sketch too, which on any other campaign that would be a $50, $60 perk, I think,
yeah, I'm trying. I think a part of me when I'm making this was trying to keep in mind of how Kickstarter is doing right now, how crowdfunding is doing right now, and how it's struggling, and how, I want to be conscious of everyone's own individual experiences. And I know finances are tough for a lot of people. Economy is hard. And so like, I wanted to be conscious of that. And and look at like, okay, so if we have just a regular standard 22-page comic, if I put that on Kickstarter, I'd probably put it for like $8, which it would be more than you would pay at a comic shop. So then like, let me just double that. That's like 16. I maybe could have gone more, but I'm just like, I didn't want to scare people away with the prices. That's the last thing I want. I didn't want there to be a barrier with the prices.
The ticket price is fair, I think, for sure.
Yeah.
It's a fair price for a ticket to hopefully enjoy the ride that we're trying to set you on. Plus, it's it's over 40 pages, and I think it'll be cool.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, I like that you guys are thinking like that, because not a lot of people do. Thinks about like the cost and like getting like, I'm kind of like that. I want more like readers to discover it and then come back and keep, you get in on the, like, maybe not the cheap, but like, you come back and they'll always be with you as readers, so.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I just think about a price that I would see in a comic store for a 40-page comic, or anything like that. And it's like, okay, well, because I mean, it's $16, but of course, that doesn't include shipping. You go to back it, and then you got to pay the backing of it. So, it is what it is. That is probably the most stressful thing in the world to me when I make a Kickstarter. Is like, what the heck? Not shipping, but just like, well, shipping, yeah, but like, what the hell do I put this price at?
Yeah,
because like I don't want to feel like a snake oil salesman. I don't want to
Well, it's hard not to though, right? A little bit.
Know.
There's like a little bit of that, like you can't shake. You know what I mean?
I know. Yeah, it's tough. It kept me up at night for like the weeks leading up. I think I changed the price of all these things 4 or 5 times.
Well, you guys put countless of hours into this comic, so I mean, you gotta make your. You gotta charge it for what it's. You guys put hours of time in this.
That's true.
I think you did a really smart thing by kind of taking the average of what you're seeing a single issue is going for on Kickstarter, because it is a different market than say the store market, right? The walk-in, the comic shop store, right? Like that type of market. So I think dissecting the two and figuring it out was the right route to go.
So Jimmy, how long would it take you to do a page or like a panel? Like how long would that take?
I tried to the mentality is a page a day.
Okay.
Yeah, but as far so it's like how many hours would that be, do you think?
Oh, it just depends. So like let's go to page 4.
Which page is this?
Go up. That's 6, 7. I don't know.
Okay, so page 4.
There we go.
Okay,
that's
Yep.
Yeah, that's like a 8-hour page, 6 to 8-hour page or something.
And that's traditional, right? Not digital, right?
Right.
It's all pencil and inks, full inks and everything, right? Yeah.
Mostly black pen, or is that?
Yeah. It's a mix of stuff. It's funny. Everyone's like, what tool do you use? And it's like all. I use all
Your
tools.
hand.
It's like
My multi-tool.
My favorite thing at the moment is probably the Pentel Pocket Brush. So that's like a lot of the characters that you're seeing. That's how I get that like strokey look to the lines and kind of makes them a bit more lively, right? I like doing that with the characters.
Sharp features, right?
Yeah. Along with like the classic like the gray and the blue zebra pens that every artist uses, microns, of course, that's a big one. White gel pens. I mean, I can just keep going and going because it really is sort of whatever is next to me, I'll grab. And it's like, all right, well, I have like whatever page it is. Could be 9 panels on that page. It's like, there's something this brush could be used for. So I just kind of go for it and then throw that out and then grab the other thing. And it's like, all right, I guess we're on markers now, so.
Yeah, it's fantastic, dude.
But then like something like the first page, I mean, realistically, it probably too long because I'm figuring out the characters and stuff like that kind of on that first page as we go. But that one was probably like closer to 12 to 16, and that would carry on to the next day or something like that to finish. But
It's tons of hours. It's tons of hours of work. So 16 is more than fair.
I was just going to say on the price tag too, you have to remember you're offering a PDF, right? You got the digital and the physical.
Yeah.
So when you're offering something like that at that price point, it's like, you're getting a little extra. It's not like you're going to a comic shop buying a book and they're going to give you a digital file to go with it. You know what I mean? So there's, it's kind of a different spectrum on when it comes to Kickstarter,
Yeah. Maybe I priced it wrong.
No.
Well, no,
I don't think so.
No,
I
I think
you're
it's
fine.
perfect because you're also, it's very economical, like you said, for the individual to purchasing it. So I don't think you priced it wrong.
I've
at all. I
seen
think it's
other
perfect.
people do the similar kind of pricing, like 8, 16 and stuff like that. For me, I like the, I like the round numbers. Like I like 5, 10, 15, so, but it's, I like that you thought about it and like you figured out what works for the amount of pages and things like that. And and what are you charging for shipping, if you don't mind me asking? Is it?
I think it's just $5 US,
Okay.
$10 international.
Okay, that's not bad.
No.
God bless Media Mail.
Yep.
Yeah, Media Mail. Then you might even be able to get away with it first class too. So
yeah, I go through. I do pirate ship. I don't know if you guys ever done.
Yeah, pirate ship's great.
And I did in February. I ran the Kickstarter and I shipped out 120 books of that. And throughout the U.S. pirate ship, I never went above like $5.50. Really anywhere.
That's great.
Is pirate ship still free?
Yeah.
Yep.
You don't have to pay a fee to use it like you do stamps.
It's funny on stamps.com, right? For the second leg of fulfillment on the campaign, I resubscribed to my stamps.com, canceled it. And they're like, wait, before you cancel, to give us a reason why. So I took the little survey and then they offered me a free version of stamps.com, which is pretty much an equivalent to pirate ship. And I'm like, wow, look at that. Look at the way they're, trying to compete.
You had this all the whole time.
Force their hand,
Yeah.
Pirate ship is so easy to use, dude. I would never go back to stamps. I would never pay a fee to use that postage. You know?
Well, I mean, so I was writing it off as part of the taxes, so it was like I get a little bit back, but when the free options are there, I mean, it's your creator's best friend when they're looking out for you that way,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Do you guys have your printer lined up yet?
I usually go through Comics Wellspring. I've had a really good success. We were very lucky because we worked on that short story together and we used that and we compiled it with the preview pages you see on the Kickstarter before they were colored. We had those kind of docked up and we combined that into an ash can Jimmy's got it right there. And so we brought that to Baltimore Comic-Con. All right.
Let's see, Jimmy.
Yeah, brought it to Baltimore Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Jimmy brought it to Rose City.
That's great.
Talk about Alan Moore. Hold on. How do I do this? There we go. It's always
right.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
That's great.
That's great.
Yeah. So I enjoy Comics Wellspring. I don't know. I can't remember the other ones, but yeah.
Kablam, I've tried. I've always go back to Comics Wellspring. I think they're the best.
They're also pretty close
I've never
to me.
had
They're
them
in Minnesota, so it's not that expensive for them to ship the books to me.
Yeah, no, that's good. I was gonna say, have you had anything printed with them that is magazine size? I've never done that with them.
That ash can is magazine size. And it came out really
looks
great.
good. Yeah, looks good.
Came out really great. I'm interested to see what it looks like. Since it will be 40 pages, we'll have probably a little bit more of a binding on the side. Can't really do just probably saddle stitch or anything like that. It's gonna have to be
perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, this book looks cool, man.
Thank you. We're very excited. Yeah.
Do you guys have any plans beyond the Kickstarter? Are you guys gonna pitch it to any small press or any distributors?
Yeah. I don't. Yeah, Jimmy.
Okay. I'm like, who's saying it? But that's one of those things that we're discussing and figuring it out.
Yeah.
Right now, it's really just trying to get the Kickstarter done, get the first issue out, because regardless, a publisher's going to want that first issue in hand anyway.
Yeah, they might even want the entire series done.
Depending on the publisher, for sure.
With it.
Yeah.
You never know what the landscape's going to look like at the other end of it, too. You know what I mean? So it might be something where a new publisher pops up and they're taking anything, or if other whatever. You never know what opportunities will be there. Is basically what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I think the main goal is just to get this Kickstarter out, get it into people's hands.
Build a fan base.
Build a
for
fan
it.
base. Get it once we have a copy, we can send it off to reviewers. We can send it off to colleagues to have them look at it. Get some really start that. But I think that's kind of where we're at, and who knows from there.
Yeah,
Nice.
no, that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
And then if it follows suit like other Kickstarters and crowdfunders, it's usually you can build on the first issue. So like you can when you do the second one, you offer the first one again, and you can kind of bring in new readers that way. And so yeah, I think you guys are in a good position. Go ahead, John. What were you gonna say?
Yeah, I was just going to ask, are you guys going to port it over to any other platforms? Are you looking at like a crowdfunder without the E or Zoop? I think Zoop's another one, right?
No, I don't know. I know Zoop is like a curated thing. They find their creators and they bring them on. I think maybe down the road, put it up like on Global Comics or get like digital comics up on there. I think that's just more avenue to bring in readers, and that you can put a price point on it and stuff like that.
Yep.
So yeah, that's definitely down the road and pretty simple to do, but yeah.
So I did my digital fulfillment through Global Comics.
Oh, cool.
So when I, offered people the digital tier, I basically gave them the Global Comics link with a promo code, and then they also have the download option, which I hounded them to death since that 2020 C2E2 where I don't know if you guys were at the table when they were first hanging out with us. Jimmy, you were there, right? Global Comics and 2020 C2E2. And then, they're like, oh, this is a new platform we're working on. Look, you can upload your comic right from your phone, blah, blah, blah. Like, and since that moment, I was like, you have to have digital download PDF. And now they finally did that. Nice. But it allows me to be able to, fulfill digitally through Global Comics. So give the reader the option to either read it online for free or download it, however you'd like it,
Yeah, maybe I'll look into that. Maybe I'll email Global Comics and be like, I know Johnny C.
Tell them that.
Like, okay. I'm sorry.
You could tell them that, and that would probably work.
Johnny's been. Yeah,
I don't even know your last name, Johnny.
What's that?
I don't even know your last name. I just call you Johnny.
Nobody does.
I do, but
yeah, I'm pretty sure I do too. But
it's such a mouthful. I allow people just to have the C and make it really easy.
Not in the upper echelon.
It's like trying to pronounce Harry's last name.
I know, I should try that.
Got dead trying.
Well, yeah.
Gerostergios.
Close enough. Yeah, very good, actually. Who said that?
Yeah, that's actually really close.
Gerostergios?
That's good, yeah.
Pretty good, pretty good.
Sounds like a Greek cereal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gerostergios.
The Greek Cheerios?
Yeah, something like that. I got some bad news for you, Eddie. Looks like the Packers are losing tonight. Sorry,
don't spoil it for me.
I know.
No.
Sorry.
No.
I mean, it's
sorry, Eddie.
It's halftime, so things could change.
All right. Well, no more. I paused the game. I paused the game. I'm gonna watch it after this. No more.
That was my last.
Of that.
Okay, sorry.
No spoilers here.
That was my last update. Sorry.
Right before we got on, I literally got a text message from Eddie saying, like, I have the game paused. My phone is shut off, so I won't know anything about it. That's so
Harry Gerostergios.
So
you know what? I always get in trouble, because I remember one time, it's that time of year, it's Halloween. So one time in Groton, remember that place that burnt down, that Stagecoach Inn, we called it? It was on the corner. It was
a hotel?
Yeah, it was an old hotel that burnt down, but right before it burnt down,
I kind of remember that.
They rebuilt it. They rebuilt it into a much fancier hotel, more expensive, But Bonnie Gibson,
yes,
she and I left, deluxe. We're on break, and we went to the hotel to get like a drink at
the bar.
At the bar. So, and we're the only people. It's like midday, 12 o'clock, whatever. And there was a woman working, as a bartender, and she wore like a pirate blouse, like a white flowy blouse with a big giant cross.
The puffy shirt.
Right. Well, before she was telling, I'm like, oh, this place is pretty old. I'm like, is this place haunted? It's like, let me tell you stories. She kept going on and on and on, about this shadow figure that roamed this hotel, and he had a big nose, and customers would see the shadowy figure with the big nose, roaming around. And then, like, stupidly, I said to her, "Oh, is that why you're wearing that cross on your necklace, on your neck?" like, and she broke down, started crying. She's like, no, my son gave it to me before he died. Like,
Oh my god!
shit. Like, I'm an asshole. You know, like, I'm like, sorry.
Oh God.
Oh my lord!
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
Sorry about that. Yep. Oh well.
That's okay.
Yeah.
It's
who
halftime.
knew?
We'll come back. We're
I wish
we
I
could
could
give
have
you
been
Harry.
there just
You're
to
all
see
set.
his face.
Right. Who knew? Yeah.
We're
right.
good.
Yep. We're all
But
friends.
I wish I could have been there to see your face, Harry, after she
Oh, my
said that too.
Yeah.
Keith, trust me, I've stuck my foot in my mouth a zillion times in my life, so that's only one of the
That's
stories.
just
That's only-
human
that's
nature.
one
We've
small
all
example.
done it.
You're running on the feet.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, no, I mean, getting back to the campaign looks great, fellas.
you.
I just shared the link in the chat for
Oh,
anyone
thank you
that
so
wants
much.
to check out this fantasy,
please.
awesome fantasy comic. You know, so
Yeah.
check it out.
No, I was going to say, we hope you guys come back when future campaigns. We'd love to have you back on, promote. We promise Harry won't spoil anything for you guys.
Sorry, I
Spoil
had
a
no
game.
idea how important it was.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, do you guys want to shout out some social medias, places where people can find you, upcoming appearances, things of that nature?
Jimmy?
Sure. You can go to my website. It's just my name. .com, jimmykucaj.com.
Okay.
Also, if you just spell my last name into Google, you can find me. So like,
Okay.
yeah, if you can spell it right, I'm there.
Yeah.
But also at Jimmy Kucaj on Instagram, and then whatever Twitter's being called now, at Jimmy Kucaj Art is what that is. I'm also on Blue Sky, but it's kind of like Twitter where I'm barely there. You can usually find me on Instagram playing with the stories or something like that. So
yeah, I feel like that's the place where artists usually always end up being there primarily. You know.
Yeah.
It's a little I don't have to. I mean, here's my thing. I feel like every time I'm on Twitter, I have to write a paragraph if I'm going to post anything, because it's kind of like a writing platform in my mind.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like already slightly out of my element, I feel, to a degree. But
We should create a Twitter for artists, maybe. I'm an
right.
I'm an artist myself, actually. So actually, let me ask you a question.
Awesome.
When did you know that you could draw? Because I knew when I found out.
Yeah, I knew that I could draw. I want to say when I was like small, because my parents kind of really, I mean, they were so cool about like seeing that and like really like, oh, I think you could like get better and better and better, right? So that was that. So maybe like, I don't know, 3 or 4, right?
Oh, wow.
And then I would say the first time I realized like peers and stuff telling me that I could draw, right, was probably like first grade, right? That was the first time it was like a big, other people, not just mom and dad, right? Because even at that age, it's a big deal to have them like something, but right?
Yeah.
Mom likes it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you find out like that you kind of have something unique where over other kids and everything.
Yeah,
because that's
it was-
about the age I found out too, that I could draw and do cartoons.
Yeah,
and
same
things
as me,
like that.
actually. 4 or 5 around
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
Right
it's,
before
when you
kindergarten.
start drawing noses before the other kids, you know what I mean? It's kind of what it was like.
Yeah, or the
specifically
thing
for
you're
me.
trying to draw ends up looking more like the original thing. Like,
Yeah.
because I always started with like Peanuts and Garfield and things like that, and when I would look at it, I was like, oh, well, that almost looks like exactly like Garfield,
Yeah.
And if
Well,
people would be like, oh, okay, yeah, you can draw,
I remember we went on a field trip, like first grade. We went to actually Lowell, like a traveling circus, and so we, went there and we were watching this, 3-ring circus and trapeze artists and whatever. And then the next day, the teacher gave us these 11 by 17 pieces of paper. It's like, all right, guys, draw me what your favorite part of the circus was. And so, kids, I was busy, doing my own thing. I wasn't paying attention. So, all right, guys, time out, time's up. Let's see what you have. And a kid had drawn a bear or a seal or a clown or something. I drew the entire 3-ring circus, spotlights, trapeze artists, like clowns coming out of the car, an elephant, It's like, Harry, I'm like, why did you draw? You're supposed to draw your favorite thing. I'm like, I'd never been to a circus before. I loved it all, you know. So,
Yeah.
I drew everything.
yeah.
I drew
loved it
the
all.
circus.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
What did you?
Meanwhile-
I did the assignment. What did you
Yeah,
want me
so-
to do?
Yeah, I wish I still have this, that drawing, but
I was gonna say, all the artists are talking. Meanwhile, me and Eddie are wearing the "I'm just a writer" shirt.
Yeah.
Do you illustrate it all, Eddie?
No, I used to. I mean, I like to doodle. I was in art classes were like my best classes in high school. I was in honors art. I got a college
cool.
credit for art. But I was I wish I could go back and be more focused on art, but I was more focused on playing sports.
It's a learned
like a
skill.
nerd.
I'm almost certain. So
Yeah.
it's never too late to start. I
That's
always
true.
tell everyone to get Andrew Loomis's book, Fun with a Pencil, because when
Okay.
you're looking at it, you go like, oh, this is for kids, and you kind of get like, oh, about it. But like, if you actually open up that book and you do the exercises, you learn to draw. Like you actually do. Like it teaches you inherently like where the eyeballs go in relation to the tip of the nose, in relation to the mouth, and they kind of provide you the algorithm, if you will, to kind of like find the problem.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree that you can learn how to draw, but you can't teach creativity. You either have it or you don't. So you can learn the science of drawing, like you said.
Yeah.
But you can't teach, like creativity or doing something out of your.
No.
Sometimes like ideas hit me like at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'll think of something like, oh my god, I gotta like write it down or sketch it real quick. I'll forget it. So
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
So.
Yeah. No, it's creativity is one of those things where like I feel lucky for
Same.
the imagination.
Yeah.
To have it
writing-
fire in the way that it
so-
does.
Writing is also an art. There's many arts. It's not only
Oh,
just
yeah.
drawing.
I lost audio.
It's a blessing and a curse.
You can't hear us, Johnny?
Too.
Hello,
Yeah.
you guys hear me?
We can
Yeah.
hear
I
you.
can hear you.
Yeah.
I can't hear anybody, so I've lost audio. I'm
Oh,
having like
really?
major failure right now.
Oh,
hold
no,
on.
what
I'm gonna
happened?
back out and come back in.
Okay.
Keith, let me in. All right.
I will.
All right.
I was gonna. What was I saying?
About different art forms.
I
I
forgot.
think you said writing is an art. Harry said that, but I don't remember.
Yeah, I forgot the point I was gonna make. Johnny threw me off.
It happens.
Anyway.
It happens. Yeah.
That's how it was in 2020 C2E2 all day.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
So what was it about?
Well, plus
so-
I was vending all day too, so I'm like that point where I'm like a little woozy.
Oh, good for you, man. Like I
How
would
was
be.
that?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh,
How
go
was
on,
that-
Harry.
How was the other thing you went to this weekend in Lowell, that convention?
Oh, it was pretty good. A small 4-hour convention, very small one.
Yeah.
They did free admission, and it was about, I don't know, maybe 30 tables, I think, something like that. And they were doing cosplay, and they had trivia and things like that. And they made it a lot of fun for people.
That's
It
cool.
rained too, which I think was huge. It got all the people to come to the show, so it was
That's
cool.
cool.
So, but yeah, I hate when I have to do double things like that on the
Oh.
weekend. But at least I had a day off in between, So
Mhm.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
so-
Yeah. Kudos
you
to
know how it is. You guys do conventions. They are a lot of. They're fun, but they drain you.
They're
man.
exhausting.
They are
Cons
because you got to be
destroy me.
on
Yeah.
all day, and it's crazy.
I have
So,
no
yeah.
problem admitting that. Cons
Yeah.
completely destroy me. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm out of it for a week after every show. So
yeah. Eddie, did you have any social medias that you wanted to shout out?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. You can find me on Twitter at Eddie Klink. So my last
Okay.
name without
Can
the
you hear me?
ER. We got with Johnny.
Oh yeah, we
I
can hear
can't
you.
hear you guys.
Okay.
You can't hear us?
I can't hear. Hold on. Keep going. I'm just gonna mess with my settings.
All right.
Don't
Okay.
mind me.
All right.
Yeah, you can find me
I'm
at,
gonna try to get this back.
at Eddie Klink on Twitter or on
no, no.
Instagram. You can find me at KlinkZA, Klinkza. And those are really
Okay.
the only two that I'm on Blue Sky, but same with Jimmy. I keep kind of forgetting that it's there. Maybe when they finally charge us to be on Twitter, I'll go to Blue Sky more.
Yeah, like I know
yeah.
it's funny. Like they pop up with these new social medias, and it's just like I don't have the strength to go to another one. Like it's
No.
just
well,
and
they
I
all
just-
fail. I mean, I'm sorry.
Right?
Like, that sounds so bad to say. I don't mean this to sound rude, but like, how many platforms have we tried
yeah,
since TikTok that
yeah, exactly.
didn't last like TikTok did? You know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
right. like I feel like every social media that's out there now has been discovered, like, and you can't, everyone's just going to either go to Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram now,
Yeah.
and TikTok to a degree, if you do videos and things like that. But yeah, no, it's crazy. I had invites to Blue Sky, but I'm like, I'm not doing it. And I didn't do Threads, and I didn't do any of the other ones. It's too much for me,
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm done with that stuff now. So.
Yeah. Same.
I didn't sign up for Threads or anything like that yet. So
just tell me where I need to go once Twitter.
Yeah, right.
Just tell me where everyone's at. I'll go in there.
Exactly. Before we sort of wrap up, do you guys do you guys do a lot of conventions a year, or is it just C2E2?
Jimmy does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jimmy,
I'm doing a lot this year. What's up?
Where are you located again?
So I'm in Indiana technically, but I usually
okay.
just tell Chicago because it's on the outskirts,
Oh, okay.
Plus, I'm
There's a
in
lot of
Chicago
small
anyway.
shows there and stuff, or
So there's Northwest Indiana Con. I've never done any of the small ones, oddly enough. That's next year. This year was my first year like doing the tour of like, I'm gonna do ECCC, and then I'll do C2E2, and then I got Heroes in Baltimore, and then Rose, and then I'll be at New York, but I'm not tabling. So that's where I'll leave. Yeah, I'm just I'm helping a buddy out, and yeah. I'm just I get to put my toes in the water first to see how it goes. I'm really happy with that. Yeah.
Johnny, can you hear us?
I'm back. So I defaulted back to my cell phone. So yeah. Like when all else fails, fall back to the cell phone.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, absolutely. So yeah, did you have any other questions for these guys, Johnny? Because I was going to start to wrap up. They already did their socials.
Okay, yeah. I'm just glad that you guys were able to take the time. Thank you for coming on. I know our schedules are busy, so it really means a lot that you guys take the time to come on the show, promote the campaign, share your awesome projects and your works and your passions with us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we appreciate you having us on here. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad, like Johnny had you guys on the show, because I wouldn't have known about your work. Yeah. So like I'm definitely going to try to back it before the campaign's over.
Please.
I have a couple I got to try to back, even if I just get the like digital level, just because just to support and check it out, So
all of it is the support.
Having us on the
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, go. I was just saying, all of it is supportive. Like backing the digital, putting $2 in the little thing, or just sharing it to your socials, or sending it to people you think you like,
or having us on your show,
or having us on your show.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And just to let everybody know who's watching this tomorrow, the link for their campaign is in the description of the video. So definitely, check out the episode and then jump on over to their Kickstarter.
And there's like 15 days left, I think, in the campaign. You're about halfway there.
16.
Yeah.
16. I think
16.
it just went down
I think you guys are half 50% there at least.
I know Eddie's got the percentage. So
yeah. let me check.
Yeah.
52%.
It's a number.
So we're over the 50% mark. We got 16 days to go.
Yep. And we got some really cool, exciting announcements still to come too. So
yeah.
Awesome.
That's
right. Yeah.
We got a dope variant cover that we're not talking about. That's coming from a really dope artist.
Nice.
So yeah,
that'll be very dope artist.
That'll be cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Johnny, anything else you want to shout out this week for campaigns and stuff?
I think Johnny's filming Blair Witch 2.
What's that?
It looks like you're filming Blair Witch 2.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in the Blair Witch 2. Only because of technical glitches. I'm not gonna rattle off a bunch of other campaigns. I'm just gonna encourage everybody to back the Devil Paid Men. Sounds like a dope story. Awesome art. Love these guys. You're not going to be disappointed. It's a great price point. Back the campaign.
Thank you,
Get
Johnny.
a remark cover.
Yeah. Awesome. Harry, how about you? Anything you want to shout out this week? Or
not really. Just nice meeting you guys. Sorry I messed up. I gave up the info on the game there, but
it's okay. There's no more. I'm gonna go watch it. I'll be fine. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good. You're good, Harry.
Guess what? Thanos kills everybody at the end of Infinity War.
Everybody dies.
No.
It's funny. Wait, what was there was like a movie that I forget what it was. Usually my answer to everything, how the movie ends, I'm like, oh, everybody dies. But there was one movie that it actually happened, and I said that for fun, like everybody dies. Like, how you? And then it actually was like, I think it might have been Avengers or.
It's like, was it the snap?
What was that?
It's like, was it the snap? Was the snap the thing that did it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
That's awesome.
That's my go-to line.
Nice.
Awesome.
Well, thank you guys so much again for having us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on. Yeah, for sure.
Thank you guys as well for coming on. Nice to meet. Always cool to meet new creators.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exciting creators, So
yeah,
appreciate that. And I don't really have anything else to shout out this week. Mighty Mascots will probably be closing sometime this month. That's fully fulfilled, and I'm just trying to get any last minute people that want to back it. It's there probably till the end of the month, and then I'll.
What about the figures? How are the figures coming along?
That's a painful.
That's a painful story.
Well, So the guy started to put them together, which is great. We got our first batch in. He did 50 of the Brewsters and 50 of Mondos, and they when we open up the package, more than 30 of them were broken.
Oh no!
Yeah, and that was on both boxes. So we were just like, this is not going to work. So we're kind of starting from scratch again. We got the 3D files back, and we're kind of hunting around to see if we can find someone else that could do them, that with maybe thicken them up a little bit, because they their legs are so tiny that we could see why they're breaking off, things like that. So
right.
So we're still trying to make them, but we've been running into roadblock after roadblock,
Those are complicated, man.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah,
that sucks.
We try, but it's so hard to try to do something like that, and have it work. So we're trying though. Well, we may,
keep it going, man. It's a great concept. So, and it goes so well with the comic.
Yeah, definitely. I love that stuff. So we're gonna continue to try to find somebody that can do it for us. So hopefully we'll have some someday. So
nice.
Awesome. But all right, I'm gonna wrap this up. It seems like we covered everything, and just want to say thank you guys, and everyone have a great week, and most importantly, read some comics. All right, we'll talk to you next week, everybody. All right.
Be kind to each other.